What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel. It's Sunday, so it's post-Eagles game grades and reaction day. Sorry, it's up a little, probably about an hour later than usual. I just had to have a nap. I mean, daylight saves, clocks on it back an hour. Also, the Eagles offense went back like 50 years. It's so boring, man. Eagle games are so boring. Win, lose, or draw, they're so boring. But it's obviously a lot more tolerable when you do win. Before we jump into it, shout out to everyone. If any of you guys are gamblers out there and you support the Patreon podcast, I had Tampa over Seattle as my upset of the week for my bets. I put money on Tampa to beat Seattle. And it's only halftime. Bucks are up 21-7, but our upset of the week is looking pretty damn good right now. And you only get those insider trading tips if you subscribe to the old Patreon page. Any tier, even $2 tier, you get access to the weekly podcast. And, try to help you guys make some money. Try to at least help you pay for your groceries the coming week. But let's talk about this Eagles game. Philadelphia over Chicago, 22-14. It was an efficient day when we had to be at the, it should have been put away. The whole fact that everyone memed that until, really what was it, halftime? I don't even think they got any points. Yeah, they had like 1 yard of offense for most of the first half. And we only had 12 points. Like, that's terrible. This game should have been over in the first half. If we still had Frank Reich on this staff, this game would have been over. We would have had 31 points come halftime. But no. We have to have terrible play calling, throwing dumb drive-killing screen passes. And we have no speed on the outside. Our wide receivers are pretty damn bad right now. And we got away from the run. Like, everything that could be frustratingly annoying to happen with the Philadelphia Eagles offense was in this game. And then the second half, the defense, the things that are annoying with the defense, big plays. Malcolm Jenkins looking terrible this year. Jalen Mills getting beat deep. Same old. Rasul Douglas dropping a DB dropping a gimme pick. Same shit, different week, man. There's not a whole lot to react. Chicago, they were kind of what we thought they were. Defensively, they weren't really shit, to be completely honest with you, for having the best defense in the league. Philly fairly easily moved the ball against them when we had to. When the play calling was just average, we were doing well. And it was just bad, head-shaking play calls. We were doing bad. It wasn't really anything that the Chicago Bears defense was doing. I think we honestly should have dropped 40 points on them. If we were a legit Super Bowl contender, we would have dropped 40 points. But we're not. We're just an okay team. So let's do some grades here and just get out of here. I'm so boring. I remember even last year with all the ups and downs. Last year, some really bad losses. The Tennessee loss, the Carolina loss, the second Cowboy loss. But every Eagles game, I was in my jersey. I was sitting in front of the TV, hyped as shit. This year, man, it's just literally I'm laying on the couch. Just chilling, tank top, sleep pants. It's so boring, man. It puts me to sleep. There's nothing exciting. There is no pulse to this team. Carson Wentz went 26 of 39. I remember when we'd throw the ball 40 times, means your quarterback would have 350 yards. But somehow we find a way to just have our quarterback barely over 200, and we throw it 40 times, dinking dunks. Carson Wentz, 26-39, 239 yards, had a touchdown, also had 15 yards running on the day, I think 2 first down runs. Wentz was fine, gets a strong B. There was no negatives to his game. Wide receivers definitely did not help him out. We probably lost about 50 yards worth of drops today. So Wentz did what Wentz does best, and that is make everyone shake our heads at the Eagles wide receivers of just what if, what if we made a claim on Josh Gordon. I'm not going to say Josh Gordon's the be-all, end-all. I'm not even going to say he would have came to Philadelphia and even played a game. You never know with the off the field, all that stuff. But what I know is that Josh Gordon is better than Alshon Jeffrey has been this year. He's better than Nelson Aguilar. He's better than Mac Hollins. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside can't even get on the field. So we just pass on that. We don't trade a third-round pick for Robbie Anderson because Deshaun Jackson's come back. He plays one drive, and now he's hurt again. Wasn't feel like... Anyways, Carson Wentz gets a B. The running game, Jordan Howard, 19 carries, 82 yards, and a touchdown. Miles Sanders had 10 carries, 42 yards. We need to re-sign Jordan Howard. I don't think the contract's going to be that bad, but I think the combination of Howard and Sanders that's a positive. That's something we can build upon. When we give these guys this amount of carries, this is fine. If somehow, some way, Carson Wentz with good wide receivers, can throw it for 39, 40 attempts. We'll just say a quarterback of Carson Wentz caliber. More than that, you're throwing for 40 attempts. You better have, I mean, this game was bad because all the Bears 3-0. Let's say if Carson Wentz can keep it around 30 attempts, we'll knock it down, we'll shave it off 10. And we can keep this kind of balance to the offense. 19 carries for Jordan Howard, 10 for Miles Sanders. This is going to be an efficient offense. And I think what we've seen from a positive of the rushing game is I think Jordan Howard and Miles Sanders one hell of a tandem. Definitely want to see Jordan Howard come back. Now, there was reports on like the final drive when they were pretty much killing the clock. Miles Sanders out there. And I was like, well, hasn't he had fumble issues? Why are you having this guy out there kill the drive off? And it's because Jordan Howard went in the 10. I haven't seen any updates yet. Then again, literally, I don't care. I am on, like, every year except this year, I'm on, like, Eagles Twitter. I'm watching all the post games. I'm F5 season, every single, I don't care. I don't know if I'm the only one. Like, it's not I'm growing out of Eagles football. It's just this year's, like, there's no reason to be excited. It's just, yes, the Eagles are playing. There's always going to be a baseline of, are the Eagles playing? No. Are the Eagles playing? Yes. That is a different type of category. But for Sundays, I don't know, man. This year has just been, I don't care. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to hope they win. But as far as going the extra mile as a fan, it's boring. Everything about this Eagles team is boring. Even, oh my God, we haven't had a 100-yard rusher since LeGarrette Blount, like 2 years ago? Boring. Oh, we just check it down to Zach Ertz 10 times for 10 yards. He goes, Zach Ertz, 9 catches, 103 yards. Boring. Oh, look, screen passes. Half our plays are screen passes. Boring. What are we, a college offense? And rants. So the run game. We'll go back to the run game. Run game we'll give them an A. Offensive line blocked very well, and the running backs were efficient. Run game gets an A. For receiving, Zach Ertz led the team, 9 catches, 103 yards, and a touchdown. Dallas Goedert second on the team. So all we have is tight ends. Alshon Jeffrey is pretty much a glorified tight end with how slow he is. And that's almost a knock on how athletic tight ends are now today in the NFL. Receivers, I mean, obviously Zach Ertz having a big game. I'm not one of those persons that's like, oh, we give the ball to Zach Ertz too much. If Zach Ertz is going to be the only guy that moves the chains, so be it, man. It's going to be boring either way. It's either, throwing to Zach Ertz or watching Nelson Aguilar drop passes because he can't track anything over 10 yards. So tight ends get an A+. Wide receivers, F. Terrible day for the wide receivers. Defensively, man, Brandon Graham has been playing very well. Best form. Maybe Brandon Graham's playing as good as he has at any point in his career. He had a sack today. That was pretty good. Gennard Avery, the only guy that we brought in at the trade deadline from the Cleveland Browns, got a sack. Josh Sweat got a sack. That's pretty damn cool. We saw, was out in the field quite a bit. TJ Edwards. I don't know what his final tackles were, by 5-6 tackles, something like that. He was in on every play. He was very good. Every time I saw TJ Edwards on the field, is at the line of scrimmage. He was doing what you want your linebackers to do. And that is make some plays. Malcolm Jenkins, not good. Malcolm Jenkins has been horrendous. He's had one good game this year. Other than that, man, I'm seeing why. This is a slow clap for Howie Roseman. I like what Malcolm Jenkins brings as a leader, but he's probably. I can't say you can't give him a new contract. He is simply not playing well at all this season. Andrew Sendejo, this is our last week to cut him to get that 4th-round comp pick. Cut him. He's terrible. Who else was bad today? That's pretty much it, though. I mean, the corners else held it down. Darby, Jalen Mills, Avonte Maddox back after Sendejo nearly killed him. Corners played well. Corners held up well. Linebackers were fine. The front was, there were a couple big splash plays here today in Montgomery. The one pass that, the deep pass from Trubisky to Taylor Gabriel was all Malcolm Jenkins' fault. It was terrible. And then, the fact that literally the only fast guy on Chicago, and you have Jalen Mills on him, you got to have safety out. You can't have your safety looking at the backfield trying to make a big play. Defense, though, ultimately you hold one. Defense gets an A-. The second half, kind of, when the Bears got back into it, you saw some of, classic Eagles defense. But you can't ignore the dominance that was that first half, Trubisky or not. So I'll give them an A-. Overall, though, it's a boring B- performance here from the Philadelphia Eagles. Just uninspiring on offense. No optimism whatsoever that we'll be able to beat a good team. I mean, everything, even if, you look at the wins. We have a couple good wins. Pound for pound, you still have to put that Bears defense out there. Short Akeem Hicks. They're still a playoff caliber defense, and we got to win. We beat the Bills. They're the second best team in the AFC record-wise, even though they're not really that good. They're still a playoff caliber team in the AFC. beat them, but it was ugly. Even the Packers game, man. How many yards? Devontae Adams had a career day. Like, we just barely scraped by. Like, it's sport football. And I don't know. I mean, New England Patriot fans, they endorse. They know that their boring brand of football wins them countless games, wins them Super Bowls. And maybe that's what we need to accept here in Philadelphia is you gotta win ugly. And we're just not that team anymore. You know, when you got the slowest wide receivers in the league, you get the slowest second, like, there's just not a lot of, like, Miles Sanders is the only guy right now that can be relied upon for a play that's over 10 yards on this offense. Through the air, anyways, because obviously Jordan Howard can have a big run. I love Jordan Howard. I would say everyone's boring except Jordan Howard. Jordan Howard Jordan Howard and Miles Sanders are the only two positives on this team right now. That's not Carson Wentz. So, anyways, we got a win. Boring win. Bye week next week. These games are as bad as just not watching Eagles football anyways, so I mean, hopefully we get it all figured out after the bye because we get a lot of tough games coming up. But thank you guys for watching. I just hope, everyone else bored? Like, I know we get a lot of Eagles fans here in the comments. Is it just me? Like, am I just growing out of Eagles football? Like, there's no way, right? It's just boring, right? I'm not crazy. Let me know, and I'll catch you guys back here next week. Peace out.